Hi guys, this is Nikki from CTAT, and today I would like to share some information on page templates with you. Page templates are something that we recently received from D2L, and we've loaded them into the system so that you can access them from any of your courses. We have 4 different templates to choose from, and they create a nice, professional, polished look to your course content, and they're a great alternative to using PDFs or Word documents in your course. Of course, using PDFs and Word documents are just fine. There are a few steps that you can use in order to make sure that they meet ADA compliance, and we have some resources on our CTAT website if you'd like more information about that. But I would like to quickly just show you the difference between how a PDF displays and how you can create an HTML document in your course. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of my own courses, INFS 1010, and you can see here in the content section that I have a module that's full of all of the projects or the assignments that my students are going to be doing throughout the semester. When I click on the PDF, it opens up and displays, and then you can see that it's easy to simply scroll through and take a look at the assignment. Now, as an alternative to that, I can go back to the content section and create HTML documents. I quickly would like to just show you what the 4 templates look like and then show you how to create it. So the first one is called Ordinary Blue, and as you can see, it's the exact same content. We have the course title, the name of the project, and then information about creating documents and what the students are expected to submit. And it's all very organized. You can see that I used headers for each of the sections, bullet points throughout, and that's the exact same information that was in the PDF. Just a different template, again, looks polished. But one of the nice things about using HTML documents is that screen readers pick them up and they work very well together. So your student doesn't have to download a PDF and then use Adobe Reader or use whatever screen reading software they have on their computer. They can simply stay in the class and not download a document, just have their screen reader pick up what's on their screen. So it's really convenient for your students. What's also really nice is, as a teacher, I don't have to download that PDF, make the changes, re-upload it into my class, replace the current document, and then link to the new PDF that I've edited. I can simply come in here, say edit HTML document, and make those changes and be done with it. So it's much faster as an instructor, and I really like that. So the next template that we have is called Modern Red, and this is my favorite because it has a little touch of that Rhone State red in here. Again, it is the exact same information, but it looks clean, it's nice, and it's very easy for both the students and for you. The next one is called Note Paper, and as you can see, this one's a little more fun. It has some jean and that torn out note paper. Again, same information, very simple to format. And then finally, the last one is called Classic Contemporary. So these are the 4 styles, and of course you're going to choose one based on what you would like your class to look like. But let me show you by going back to the content section. So we simply choose the module where we'd like to create the HTML document, and then click on New. Rather than choose Upload Files to select that PDF or that Word document, we're going to choose the next option, Create a File. Let's go ahead and put our title, so 2A and 2B. And then you'll notice just to the right of the title that you can browse for a template. So go ahead and click on that button. Right now we are on course offering files, which shows me all of the files that are currently in my course. If I were to click on my computer, this is where we'd find the upload button to select something that's saved to our computer. What we want to choose is actually this third option right here, Shared Files. And you'll see that there's a Page Templates folder. When you click on that, you're going to see those 4 templates that we just looked at. So let's go with Modern Red since it's my favorite. And then you'll see that there are 4 different examples here. So how to use this template, sample content, a sample syllabus, as well as the template styles. If you click on the title of the HTML template, it's either going to open up for you in your browser or automatically download. So that's really just a way for you to preview what it looks like. And as you can see, this shows us the template styles, including headings, bullets, italicized text, whether we use the numbered list or insert a picture, as well as what our tables are going to look like. So let's go ahead and close that. And in order to choose it, we just need to click this little radio button to the left and then click Add. Alright, so the template has been inserted into the HTML document that we're starting to create, and there are all the styles that we previewed in the browser. And so I'm going to want to put my cursor just in front of template styles and then click and hold and scroll all the way down so that I select all of the content that's on this page. And then I just want to hit delete on the keyboard. And that just deletes everything so that I can now copy and paste my content into this template. So I can either pull up the PDF in my class, or I can open up the saved copy that I have on my computer. Now, even though HTML documents are easy to create and modify, we still recommend when you're getting started to make sure that you have that original copy here, because you don't want to spend a good 15 minutes or 20 minutes writing up a document and then something happens and it refreshes and you lose it. So it's always a good idea to have backup copies of your assignments and the work that you're putting in your course. But for our purposes, since we don't have any HTML documents to modify, I can just copy directly from this PDF, and I can either use Control-C on my keyboard or just right-click and select Copy, move back to Momentum, click within the Styles template, and then paste it in. Now I'm going to drag this down so I can see more of it, and this is just plain text right here. So what I want to do is I want to start going through and modifying it so that I put in headers, and I'm making sure that I'm using a sans serif font, making sure that I'm using bulleted lists, and these are all things that are in line with ADA standards. So when you do that, you're really making sure that this course is accessible to students who may need to use some sort of screen reader, which is fantastic. We need to be making sure that all of our students have equal access to content, and not only does this look professional, not only is it easy for you, but it is also making sure that we're providing the proper accommodations for our students. So to go ahead and start formatting, I want to make sure that I put spaces in between the content. So simply click after college and then put in a line break, and then I can select my text and format it. I'm going to go with heading 1 and then center my text. Notice that I put a line break before I went ahead and changed this to heading 1 and centered it. That's because even if I were to select this line here, if I don't put that space after, when I choose the next line to be formatted as heading 2, it's going to change all of the following text to heading 2. There has to be a break in between in order for you to specifically modify just that line or just that paragraph, depending on what you're looking at. But once I go ahead and put that space, I can apply the proper formatting and then just backspace or get rid of those extra spaces as I've needed them. So I just go through the document, add my space where appropriate. These are all bullets. At the end of my bullets, I'm going to add a space, and I can select all of those and then just indent it by a line. Oh, and it looks like it indented everything, so let's redo that and find out why. Grab just that. There we go. Delete that space, delete that extra space. So it can be a little funky at times, which is why it's important to have that backup. But in the long run, once you've formatted everything, then semester to semester, you're just rolling it over. For this class, I would just go in from fall to spring and change this to spring 2015. And then, of course, change my due dates at the very bottom. But it's very simple to add that space. Simply select the line I'd like. And this one needs to be heading 3. You'll notice that as I go through, I started with heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. In order to follow standards, ADA standards, it's important that you stay in sequential order. So I wouldn't want to jump from heading 1 to heading 3 or 4, because when students are using screen readers, by giving them that sequential order, it helps them to keep track of where they are in the document, which is very important. So I'm going to go through and just add the appropriate spaces. Again, this one would be heading 3 because it needs the same formatting as the previous section. And I would like to indent that chunk of text as well, and then get rid of those additional spaces. Oh, and one more thing. I like to include the name of my course at the bottom just for consistency's sake. And I'm going to italicize and center. So that's it. I'm going to publish, and then we can take a look at our final HTML document. So I hope that you found this tutorial helpful, and of course please don't hesitate to contact CTAT if you need any assistance. We're happy to see that you're interested in trying something new, something that's professional and simple to use, but will hopefully be a benefit to your students. So thank you so much and have a good day.